Share if you believe kindness can change the world. Comment yes if you've ever felt overwhelmed. Happened live at Nairobi Arena, Saturday, 3:17 p.m. You won't believe what happened next. Kofi loved lights. Not just any lights, but counting lights. The way street lamps blinked on at dusk, the steady glow of his bedroom nightlight shaped like a lion, the flashing colors of the traffic signals near his house in Nairobi. His brain felt like a superpowered calculator, especially for numbers and patterns. But Kofi's brain worked differently in other ways too. Loud noises felt like giant hammers hitting his head. Too many smells mixed together made his tummy feel sick. And when things got too much, too bright, too noisy, too crowded, his body sometimes felt like a balloon about to pop. His mama called it a meltdown. It wasn't Kofi being naughty. It was his brain shouting, "Stop, too much." Today was Mama's birthday. Papa had a special surprise, tickets to see the amazing Simba Kings, Kenya's biggest music stars, playing at the huge Nairobi Arena. Kofi was so excited. He counted the tickets, 2 blue ones, smooth and cool, counted the steps to the bus stop, 43, and counted the bus seats all the way to the arena, 72. He wore his softest, tagless shirt, the one that didn't scratch his neck, and held his special worry stone, smooth and grey like a river pebble, tight in his pocket. But stepping into the Nairobi Arena was like diving into a giant, noisy ocean. Boom, boom, boom. The music wasn't just loud, it felt like the floor was shaking Kofi's bones. Whoosh! Strobe lights flashed like angry lightning, cutting through the dark hall. Smell. Hot dogs, popcorn, perfume, and too many people sweating. It was a storm of smells hitting Kofi's nose all at once. Touch. People jostled past, bumping his arms, grabbing his shoulder. His special stone felt slippery in his sweaty hand. "Kofi? You okay, Mwanangu?" Mama asked, bending down. Her voice was kind, but it sounded muffled, like she was talking through thick cotton wool. Kofi tried to nod, but his head felt heavy. He squeezed his eyes shut, trying to find the quiet place in his head where he counted stars. But the boom-boom got louder. The lights flashed faster, red, blue, green, white, like 1,000 angry fireflies. Someone bumped him hard from behind. Oof! That was the pop. Kofi's balloon burst. He dropped his worry stone. It rolled away under a seat, lost. His hands flew up to cover his ears, but the sound was inside his head now. His eyes squeezed shut, but the light burned through his eyelids. His legs felt wobbly, like jelly. He couldn't breathe right. A big hot wave of panic washed over him. He opened his mouth, but instead of words, a loud, high-pitched sound came out, a scream of pure, confused fear. He started rocking back and forth, his hands flapping wildly at his sides, trying to push away the terrible too-muchness. Tears streamed down his face, but he didn't know he was crying. "Kofi, Kofi, breathe," Mama said, trying to hold him gently. But her touch felt like sandpaper. Papa tried to guide him towards the exit, but the crowd was a wall of moving bodies. Kofi pulled away, stumbling backwards, bumping into a tall man in a bright orange security jacket. The man, Mr. Otieno, had been watching the crowd carefully. He saw the boy screaming, flapping, causing a disturbance right near the VIP section entrance. "Hey, hey you!" Mr. Otieno boomed, his voice cutting through the music like a knife. He put a firm hand on Kofi's shoulder. "Stop that noise! You're disturbing everyone! Out! Now!" Mr. Otieno didn't see the overwhelmed boy. He saw a loud, disruptive kid breaking the arena rules. He saw his job, keep the event running smoothly. Kofi felt the hand like a hot iron. He screamed louder, pulling away, but Mr. Otieno held on, steering him roughly towards the exit doors. Mama and Papa tried to explain. "He's autistic. He's having a meltdown. Please just give him a minute." "Autistic or not, he's causing a scene," Mr. Otieno said, not unkindly but firmly. "Rules are rules. Out he goes." He pushed Kofi through the heavy doors into the sudden quiet of the arena's back hallway. The doors swung shut, muffling the music, but Kofi was still trapped in his own storm. He sank to the cold concrete floor, knees pulled to his chest, rocking and crying, the world still spinning too fast. Mama and Papa rushed out after him, Mama's eyes full of tears, Papa's face tight with worry and anger. They knelt beside Kofi, trying to soothe him, but the damage was done. The special birthday was ruined. People inside the arena were already whispering, some shaking their heads, others looking confused. Share this if you've ever felt misunderstood. Meanwhile, high up in the executive suite, Amina Jelagat, the vice president of guest experience for the Nairobi arena, was watching the main screen. She wasn't just watching the concert, she was watching her arena, making sure everything was perfect. Her sharp eyes caught the commotion near the VIP entrance. She saw the small boy, the security guard. She recognized Mr. Otieno, the distressed parents. She saw the boy's frantic movements, the parents' desperate explanations. Something didn't look right. This wasn't just a naughty child. Amina grabbed her walkie-talkie. "Otieno, report, what's happening at Gate 3? "VP Jelagat, sir." Mr. Otieno's voice crackled back, slightly flustered. "Minor disturbance. Autistic boy having a meltdown, causing a scene. Ejected him per protocol. Parents with him." Autistic? Amina's heart skipped a beat. Her younger brother Kwame was autistic. She knew exactly what a meltdown looked like. The overwhelming fear, the loss of control, the desperate need for quiet. She'd seen Kwame melt down at a family wedding once, surrounded by loud relatives and bright lights. Her parents had been so embarrassed, but Amina had known it wasn't Kwame's fault. It was the world being too much for him. "Otieno," Amina said, her voice calm but urgent. "Did you see him? Or just see the noise?" There was a pause. "Well, ma'am, he was screaming, flapping, causing a disturbance." "Did you see his parents trying to explain? Did you see him?" Amina pressed. She remembered Kwame during meltdowns, trapped, terrified, unable to speak. "Protocol says, eject disruptive guests, Otieno." But is a scared child disruptive? Or is he suffering? Another pause, longer this time. Mr. Otieno's voice was quieter. I just followed the rules, ma'am." He was loud. "Rules are important, Otieno," Amina said firmly. "But people are more important, especially scared children. Stay where you are, I'm coming down." Amina didn't hesitate. She stood up, her smart suit suddenly feeling too tight. She thought of Kwame. She thought of the little boy, probably named Kofi, scared and crying on the cold floor outside her arena. This wasn't right. This wasn't her arena's promise. The Nairobi arena was supposed to be a place of joy for everyone. She grabbed her phone, quickly texting her assistant, "Emergency, Gate 3 hallway, now, bring quiet room key and Kwame's sensory kit, blue bag." As she hurried down the private elevator, her mind raced. Why didn't Otieno recognize it? Because we never trained them, she realized with a jolt. Security, ushers, ticket takers, they knew how to spot a drunk person or a fight, but did they know what an autism meltdown looked like? Did they know the difference between disruptive and distressed? The answer, staring her in the face, was clearly no. The elevator doors opened to the quiet hallway. Amina stepped out. There, under the harsh fluorescent lights, was the scene. A small boy, Kofi, curled on the floor, still rocking, tears drying on his cheeks, but his body tense. His parents, looking heartbroken and angry, knelt beside him. Mama gently rubbing his back, Papa scanning the area protectively. Mr. Otieno stood a few feet away, looking uncomfortable, his hands clasped behind his back. Amina walked straight towards them, not towards the security guard. She knelt slowly, carefully, so she wasn't looming over Kofi. She kept her voice soft, like water trickling over stones. "Hello?" she said, not to the parents first, but to Kofi. "My name is Amina. It's very loud and bright in there, isn't it?" She didn't touch him. She just sat on the floor nearby, making herself small. Kofi peeked through his fingers. He saw a kind face, calm eyes. He didn't see the orange security jacket. He heard the soft voice, not the booming music. He stopped rocking for a second, just looking. Amina smiled gently. "My brother Kwame, he loves lights too. Sometimes too much light makes his head feel full of buzzing bees, doesn't it? Like the balloon popped." Kofi's eyes widened slightly. Buzzing bees. That's exactly what it felt like. He gave a tiny, shaky nod. Mama gasped, tears welling again, but this time with relief. Papa's tense shoulders relaxed a fraction. Amina kept her voice low. We have a special quiet room, Kofi. No loud music, no flashing lights, just soft chairs and maybe some quiet things to look at. Would you like to see it? It's very close. She didn't say calm down or stop crying. She offered a solution to the problem, the too muchness. Kofi looked at his mama. Mama nodded, her eyes saying, "It's okay. This lady understands." Kofi slowly uncurled. He didn't speak, but he let Mama help him stand. He kept his eyes down, avoiding the bright hallway lights. Just then, Amina's assistant arrived carrying a familiar blue bag, Kwame's old sensory kit. Inside were noise-cancelling headphones, big for Kwame, but they'd try, a soft weighted lap pad to help Kofi feel calm, a smooth worry stone, just like Kofi's lost one, and a simple picture card showing a quiet room. Amina gently offered the headphones. These make the loud sounds softer, like turning down the volume. Kofi hesitated, then let Mama put them on. The immediate reduction in noise was like magic. He took a deep, shuddering breath. Amina placed the soft lap pad over his legs as they walked slowly down the hall. Kofi's rocking slowed. He held the new worry stone tightly. Amina led them not to a boring office, but to the quiet cove, a small newly set-up room she'd championed after Kwame's wedding meltdown, but which had been mostly unused because staff didn't know about it. Soft blue lighting, beanbag chairs, soundproofing panels on the walls, a small table with calming fidget toys. It was peaceful. Kofi walked in, looked around, and slowly sank into a beanbag. He pulled the headphones down around his neck, but kept the lap pad. He picked up a smooth blue marble and began to roll it slowly back and forth in his hands, his breathing gradually becoming even. The storm was passing. Amina turned to Mr. Otieno, who had followed silently, his face red with shame. "Otieno," she said, her voice calm but serious. "Thank you for following protocol. But today, our protocol failed a child. We need to learn. Will you help me make sure it never happens again?" Mr. Otieno swallowed hard. He looked at Kofi, calm now in the quiet room, then at the relieved, grateful faces of the parents. "Yes, ma'am," he said, his voice thick. "Absolutely." Comment below, have you ever needed a quiet space? What helps you when things get too much? Let's share ideas. Kofi sat in the beanbag, rolling the blue marble. Click, roll, click, roll. The smooth sound was like a tiny heartbeat, steady and calm. The heavy lap pad on his legs felt like a warm hug, holding the wobbly feelings inside. The noisy music from the arena was just a soft thump now, like a faraway drum. He wasn't scared anymore. The balloon wasn't popped. It was slowly, gently, filling back up with quiet air. He looked up at Mama. She was smiling, but her eyes were shiny with tears that weren't sad anymore. Papa squeezed her hand. Amina sat on the floor nearby, not too close, just like Kofi liked. "Your marble is very blue," she said softly, "like the sky just before sunset." Kofi didn't look at her, but he nodded. He kept rolling the marble. Click, roll. "My brother Kwame," Amina continued, her voice like a quiet story. "He collects smooth stones too, from the river near our village. He has a special box. He counts them every morning. It helps him start his day right." Kofi stopped rolling the marble. He looked at Amina, really looked at her. Counts them? He loved counting. He held up one finger, then two, then three. Then he stopped, shy. Amina smiled. "You count too? That's wonderful. Kwame counts the steps to school. 127. Every single day." Kofi's eyes lit up. He held up 10 fingers. Then he pointed to the marble. 10 marbles, Amina guessed. Kofi nodded fast, a little smile touching his lips. Counting was his superpower. Someone knew. Mama wiped her eyes. "Thank you, Amina, thank you so much. We tried to tell the guard, but—" Amina held up a hand gently. "The fault is mine, Mama. Not yours, not Kofi's, and not even entirely Mr. Otieno's. I am responsible for this arena. I didn't make sure my team knew how to help children like Kofi. That is on me." She turned to Mr. Otieno, who stood just inside the door, looking down at his shoes. "Otieno, please come in. Sit." Mr. Otieno shuffled in, perching awkwardly on the edge of another beanbag. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I saw the noise, the flapping. I thought he was being disruptive on purpose, like kids sometimes are. I didn't know. I didn't see him." "So you saw what you were trained to see, Otieno," Amina said kindly. "And we trained you to see only trouble, not distress. That's my mistake. Today, Kofi taught us a lesson." She looked at Kofi, who was now carefully lining up the fidget toys on the table. Marbles, smooth stones, a small wooden puzzle. Kofi isn't disruptive. He's different. His brain works in a special way. Loud noises hurt his ears. Bright lights hurt his eyes. Too many smells make his tummy sick. When it all gets too much, like a cup overflowing, he has a meltdown. It's not anger, it's fear. It's his body saying, "Stop." Mr. Otieno listened, his brow furrowed. Like when the generator at home gets too hot and shuts off?" he asked slowly. "Exactly," Amina said. His brain shut down to protect itself from the too much. Ejecting him was like kicking the generator when it's overheating. It just makes the problem worse. What he needed, she pointed to the quiet room, the headphones, the lap pad, was to help his brain cool down. Safety, quiet, understanding. Kofi, hearing the word quiet, looked up and gave a small satisfied nod. "Yes, quiet is good." Mama spoke, her voice strong now. "We tried to tell him Kofi is autistic, but the word didn't mean anything to him. It didn't help Kofi then." Amina nodded. "Words alone aren't enough. We need actions. We need to see the child, not just the behavior. Today, we failed Kofi. But we can fix it." She turned to Kofi's parents. "Your birthday, Mama. It's not over. The Simba Kings are still playing. If Kofi feels ready, and only if he feels ready, we can take him back in. But not to the main floor. We have a special spot." She led them down another quiet hall to a small private booth overlooking the arena floor. It had thick glass, muffling sound, dimmable lights, comfortable chairs, and a direct view of the stage. It was designed for VIPs who wanted privacy, but Amina declared it the new, sensory-friendly suite. Kofi looked at the stage through the glass. The lights were still bright, but the glass softened them. The music was still there, but the thick glass made it a gentle thump, not a boom. He saw the band, small and far away, like watching a colorful fish in an aquarium. He felt the lap pad on his legs. He held his marble. He took a deep breath. Click. Roll. He gave Mama a tiny thumbs up. They stayed for one more song. Kofi watched the moving lights on the stage, counting the different colors in his head. 3 red spots, 2 blue beams, 1 big white circle. He didn't melt down. He even smiled a little when the lead singer did a funny dance move. Mama's birthday wasn't ruined, it was saved. As they prepared to leave after the concert, Amina handed Mama a special card. "This is a Quiet Cove pass," she explained, "for Kofi. Anytime he comes to the arena, concert, sports game, even just to visit, show this to security. They'll take him straight to the Quiet Cove or the sensory suite, no questions asked, and we'll have staff trained to help." Mama hugged Amina tightly, tears flowing freely now. "Thank you. You gave Kofi his dignity back." Papa shook Amina's hand firmly. "You didn't just help Kofi today, you helped us, you made us feel seen too." Kofi walked over to Amina. He didn't speak, but he held out his hand. In it was the smooth worry stone Amina's assistant had given him. He placed it gently in her palm, then pointed to his own pocket where he kept his new special stone. It was his way of saying thank you. Amina closed her hand around the stone, her throat tight. "I'll keep it safe, Kofi, like a promise." Share this story of kindness. How one VP changed everything in 10 minutes. The next morning, Amina was in her office before sunrise, the city lights twinkling below like Kofi's counting lights. The worry stone sat on her desk. She opened her computer and typed furiously, "Memo, urgent, guest experience revolution, effective immediately. All staff, security, ushers, concessions, cleaning, must complete new Understanding Neurodiversity training. Starting today." Quiet Cove is now open, not just for emergencies. A calm space for anyone feeling overwhelmed. Promote it visibly. Sensory-friendly suite is reserved for guests who need it. Staff to escort guests with Quiet Cove passes immediately. New protocol. If a guest, especially a child, seems distressed, screaming, rocking, covering ears, do not eject. Find a manager. Offer Quiet Cove. See the person, not the behavior. Mr. Otieno to lead training. He saw the problem firsthand. He will help design the training. Otieno, thank you for your honesty yesterday. Your courage makes us stronger. She hit send. Then she called her brother Kwame. Kwame, it's Amina. I need your help, big time. I have a story to tell you and a job for you. Kwame, who was a quiet, brilliant artist who communicated best through his drawings, was thrilled. Amina asked him to design simple picture cards showing, I need quiet, too loud, too bright, I feel scared. These would be given to guests who might struggle to speak during stress. Kwame drew them that afternoon, clear, calm images anyone could understand. News of the arena incident spread like wildfire through Nairobi, not as a scandal but as a spark of kindness. A local reporter, Zawadi Mwangi, heard about it from a usher who was moved by what she saw. Zawadi tracked down Mama, whose name was Nia, and got Kofi's permission through Mama to share his story, focusing on understanding, not shame. Zawadi's article, How a VP's Quiet Act Saved a Birthday, Arena Learns to See Autism, went viral. It wasn't just about Kofi. It was about everyone who ever felt overwhelmed, misunderstood, or ejected from a place of joy. Comments flooded in. My daughter is autistic. We haven't been to an arena in 3 years. Nairobi Arena, you've given us hope. Fatima, Mombasa. I'm not autistic, but loud places give me panic attacks. A Quiet Cove would help me too. Inclusion. David, Kisumu. Mr. Otieno, you did the right thing by admitting you were wrong. That takes courage. Proud of you. Arena Heroes. Ben, Nairobi. Amina Jelagat. You are my hero. Teach other arenas this. Be like Amina. Teacher. Grace, Nakuru. The Simba Kings themselves saw the story. The lead singer, Jabari, posted a video. To Kofi and Amina, real heroes care for all their fans. We're donating to help Nairobi Arena build more Quiet Coves. But the biggest wave came from within the arena. Staff meetings were no longer about ticket sales or cleaning schedules. They were full of energy. Ushers shared stories. I saw a little girl covering her ears at the kids' show yesterday. I took her straight to the Quiet Cove. Concession staff learned to spot a stressed guest and offer a quiet corner. Mr. Otieno, once just following orders, became passionate. He stood in training sessions, not as the boss, but as the guy who got it wrong. I saw noise. I didn't see fear. Kofi taught me to look deeper. Now, I see people. Amina didn't stop at the arena. She called other venues in East Africa, stadiums, cinemas, shopping malls. Let's share this, she urged. Let's make everywhere a place where Kofi can feel safe. Some were hesitant. It's expensive. We don't have the space. Amina shared Kwame's simple picture cards, the low-cost lap pads, the power of just knowing. One afternoon, a week later, Amina was walking through the arena during a quiet matinee show. She saw a young boy, maybe 6 years old, standing near the entrance, hands over his ears, tears on his face. His parents looked worried and embarrassed. Before Amina could even move, an usher, young Aisha, who had been at the first training session, was there. Aisha didn't say much. She knelt, showed the boy Kwame's Too Loud picture card, and gently offered noise-cancelling headphones from a small pouch on her belt. She smiled and pointed down the hall towards the Quiet Cove sign, which was now brightly lit and easy to find. The boy's parents looked stunned, then immensely relieved. They followed Aisha. Amina stood watching, a lump in her throat. It's working. The ripple from that one moment in the hallway was spreading. It wasn't perfect. Some staff were still learning. The Quiet Cove got busy. But the spirit had changed. The arena wasn't just a building for events anymore. It was becoming a place that saw people. That evening, Amina got a message. It was a photo from Nia, Kofi was sitting at his desk at home drawing. On the paper was a picture of the Nairobi arena, but instead of scary lights, it had soft, glowing stars. Standing outside the arena door was a small stick figure with a big smile, holding hands with a taller figure labeled Amina. Underneath, in Kofi's careful writing, it said, "My arena, safe." Amina saved that photo as her phone wallpaper. Every time she felt overwhelmed by the work ahead, she looked at Kofi's drawing. It reminded her, safety isn't just a room, it's a feeling, and it starts with seeing. Comment: what small change could your favorite place make to be more welcoming? Share your ideas. 6 months later, the Nairobi arena hummed with a different kind of energy. It wasn't just the roar of the crowd or the beat of the music. It was the quiet hum of understanding. The big sign near every entrance no longer just said, "Exit." It also said, in bright, clear letters with Kwame's picture symbols, "Feeling overwhelmed? Quiet cove this way." Arrows, painted with soft, calming colors, pointed the way. Kofi and his family visited often, not just for big concerts, but for small things. A community choir performance, a school science fair held in the arena lobby. Every time, Kofi got his special stone from Amina's desk. She kept a whole jar of smooth ones, put on his noise-cancelling headphones, now in cool blue, his favorite color, and knew exactly where the quiet cove was. Sometimes he used it for 5 minutes, just to reset when the lobby got busy. Sometimes he stayed the whole time, watching the event on a special calm-screen TV in the quiet cove that showed the stage with the sound turned way down. Mama didn't have to whisper apologies anymore. Papa didn't have to scan the crowd nervously. They could just be. One sunny Saturday, the arena hosted its first-ever sensory-friendly family day. No loud music blaring, no flashing lights. The main arena floor was transformed. Soft, warm lighting replaced the spotlights. Giant, colorful pillows replaced hard seats. Calm music played at a gentle volume. There were quiet corners with beanbags and fidget toys, a light garden with safe, dimmable LED strips kids could arrange, and a smell station with nice, mild scents like vanilla and citrus instead of popcorn and sweat. Best of all, almost everyone there understood. Kids who flapped their hands, spun in circles, or needed headphones weren't stared at. They were just kids playing. Kofi loved it. He spent ages in the light garden, carefully arranging the blue and green strips into patterns only he could see. He showed Amina his design. 3 blue, 2 green, 1 blue, like counting stars. Amina pretended to count them seriously. 1, 2, 3, wow, Kofi, you're right. It is like stars. Mr. Otieno, now the head of guest support, not just security, walked around in a regular shirt, not an orange jacket. He carried a small bag with spare headphones, lap pads, and picture cards. He saw a little girl sitting alone near the edge, looking stressed. He didn't ask what was wrong. He simply sat nearby, showed her the "I need a break" picture card, and offered a quiet toy, a smooth spinning top. The girl's eyes lit up. She took the top and started spinning it slowly, her shoulders relaxing. Mr. Otieno gave her mom a thumbs up. Job done. Amina watched it all, a warm feeling in her chest. This wasn't just her arena anymore. It belonged to everyone. She saw families who had never dreamed of coming to the arena before. Families with autistic children, children with anxiety, even elderly guests who found big crowds tiring. The quiet cove was busy, but it was a happy busy. Laughter mixed with the calm music. Kids played together, differences melting away in the shared space of acceptance. Then Amina saw something that made her catch her breath. Walking through the main entrance, looking a little unsure, was a man she recognized. Mr. Chegi, the stern owner of the huge Uhuru Stadium downtown, Nairobi's biggest sports venue. Uhuru Stadium was known for its strict rules, its crowded stands, and its lack of quiet spaces. Mr. Chega had been very skeptical when Amina first called him about sharing the quiet cove idea. "Arena is for excitement, Jelagat, not for coddling." Amina walked over, her heart pounding a little. "Mr. Chege, welcome. What brings you to our family day?" Mr. Chege cleared his throat, looking around at the calm, happy scene. He saw a boy rocking gently with a lap pad, completely absorbed in a puzzle. He saw parents chatting quietly, relaxed. I came to see with my own eyes, Amina, he admitted. My grandson, he's like your Kofi. We took him to a match last month. It was difficult, very difficult. He cried the whole time. We had to leave. My daughter was heartbroken. He looked at the Quiet Cove sign, then back at Amina. You've made this work? Amina smiled. It's not magic, Mr. Chege. It's just seeing people and making small changes. Would you like a tour? She showed him everything. The Quiet Cove, now with 2 rooms, one super quiet, one with gentle activities. The sensory suite, used for big events. The picture cards Kwame designed. She introduced him to Mr. Otieno, who passionately explained how training changed everything for the staff. Mr. Chege listened, asked questions, and even tried on a pair of noise-cancelling headphones, his eyes widening at the sudden quiet. As they walked back into the main area, they saw Kofi. He was showing a new friend, a girl named Zawadi, named after the reporter, how to count the light strips. Zawadi had Down syndrome and communicated with gestures and sounds, but Kofi understood her counting signs perfectly. They were giggling, pointing to the lights. Mr. Chege watched them for a long moment. Then he turned to Amina, his eyes suspiciously bright. Amina, I want this. For Uhuru Stadium, for my grandson, for everyone. Can you help us? Help. Amina didn't just say yes, she said, bring your team, we'll train them, we'll share our plans. Kwame will design new picture cards for stadiums. Otieno will tell them his story. She looked at Kofi and Zawadi, still counting lights together. This isn't just my idea, Mr. Chege. It belongs to Kofi, to Kwame, to every child who ever felt too loud, too bright, too much. It's time everyone had a place to feel safe. Share. If you believe playtime should be for every child. The ripple became a wave. Uhuru Stadium announced its own Quiet Cove project. A major cinema chain in Kampala, Uganda, copied the idea. A shopping mall in Dar es Salaam added calm corners near the restrooms. Amina and Kwame even made a short, simple video explaining autism meltdowns and the Quiet Cove idea. Using Kwame's drawings and Kofi's quiet counting, it was shared in schools, community centers, and even on national TV. But the biggest change happened right in Kofi's own world. Back at Jomo Kenyatta Primary School, things were different too. Before the arena incident, Kofi sometimes had meltdowns in class. The noisy lunchroom, the flickering fluorescent lights, the sudden bell. It could all be too much. Teachers tried, but they didn't really understand. Some thought he was just sensitive or needed to toughen up. After the news stories about Kofi and the arena, everything shifted. His teacher, Madam Wambwe, got special training. She learned about sensory overload. She gave Kofi a quiet corner in the classroom, a small tent with soft fabric where he could go if things got too loud. She let him wear noise-reducing headphones during noisy activities. She used Kwame's picture cards so Kofi could show her before he got overwhelmed. Too bright. Need break. One day, during a noisy art project with glitter, which Kofi hated because it got everywhere and sparkled too much, Kofi felt the balloons starting to fill. He quickly showed Madame Wambwe the too bright, sparkly card. Without a word, Madame Wambwe handed him his headphones and pointed to the quiet corner. Kofi went, took deep breaths, played with a smooth stone, and came back when he was ready. No meltdown, no shame, just understanding. The other kids noticed. Bakari, who used to tease Kofi for acting weird, started asking questions. Why do you need the quiet corner, Kofi? Kofi, with Mama's help, made a simple poster for the classroom. My brain is different. Loud, on pain. Bright, too much. Quiet, happy. He drew pictures of himself covering his ears, then smiling in the quiet corner. Bakari got it. The next time the fire alarm practice happened, a nightmare for Kofi, Bakari was the first to gently guide Kofi towards the door, showing him the fire drill picture card calmly, not panicking. It's okay, Kofi, Bakari said. We go slow. I got you. Kofi trusted Bakari. He didn't melt down. He held Bakari's hand all the way outside. Kofi wasn't just the autistic boy anymore. He was Kofi, who could count faster than anyone, who drew amazing pictures of lights, who was Bakari's friend. The class even started a quiet time after lunch, 10 minutes of calm reading or drawing, which everyone loved, not just Kofi. Madame Wamboy saw kids who were usually hyperactive settle right down. The whole classroom became calmer, kinder. Kofi's confidence grew like a strong little plant. He started using more words. He even raised his hand in class to answer a math question, a huge thing for him. When he got nervous, he didn't shut down. He showed his "need help" card, and Madame Wamboy would give him a minute or let him write the answer instead of saying it out loud. His special talent for patterns helped him solve a tricky puzzle in science, making him the hero of the day. Bakari high-fived him. Comment: what talent do you have that makes you special? Tell us below. One evening, Amina visited Kofi's house. She brought Kwame, who was sketching the view of Nairobi from Kofi's window. Kofi was showing them his latest project, a giant drawing covering his whole bedroom wall. It was a map of Nairobi, but not like a normal map. It was a map of safe places. In the center was the Nairobi Arena, drawn with soft glowing lights and a big heart. Next to it was Uhuru Stadium, with a smaller heart. Then the cinema, the shopping mall in Dar, even his school, all marked with hearts. He had drawn little stick figures holding hands outside each place. He pointed to the arena. Amina. He pointed to the school. Bakari. He pointed to the cinema. Zawadi. He pointed all over the map. Safe. Nia smiled, tears in her eyes. He made this after the family day. He says it so he never feels lost. Kwame, who rarely spoke out loud but communicated through his art, took a new sheet of paper. He drew a simple picture, a single spark of light. Then, around it, he drew ripples spreading out and out, touching buildings, hearts, and smiling faces. Underneath, he wrote in his neat script, "One spark, many lights." Amina looked at Kofi's map, at Kwame's drawing, at Kofi's calm, focused face as he added a tiny heart to the library on his map. She thought of Mr. Otieno helping a scared child, of Mr. Chege changing his stadium, of Bakari holding Kofi's hand. She thought of all the quiet coves opening up, all the picture cards being used, all the parents breathing a sigh of relief. The too loud, too bright day at the arena hadn't ended Mama's birthday. It had started something much bigger. It started a movement built on the simplest, most powerful things, seeing someone clearly, understanding their need, and acting with kindness. Kofi wasn't broken. The world just needed to adjust its volume, its brightness for him, and when it did, his light, his counting, his quiet strength, his beautiful way of seeing the world, could shine brightly for everyone to see. He wasn't a problem to be ejected. He was a person to be welcomed, and welcoming him made the whole world, from the Nairobi Arena to Kofi's classroom, a better, brighter, kinder place for everyone. As Amina left Kofi's house that night, the city lights of Nairobi twinkled below, not as overwhelming noise but as a gentle, counting rhythm. 1, 2, 3. She looked up at the stars, clear and calm. Somewhere, Kofi was probably counting them too, safe in his room, his map of safe places glowing softly under his nightlight. The spark had caught. The lights were staying on, warm and welcoming, for all who needed them.